Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is September the 15th, 2024. Hopefully this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. As for me, I'm doing pretty good. Little low energy, but in a great mood, so it's worth it. It's fine. Let's see. What have I been up to today? We did some groceries. We got some gym time in. And let's see. I feel like, now we're here. I kind of had a little bit of a later start for my day on top of it. So there's a little bit of a problem there. But I'll get into why that is. But let's see. Last night was great. I got to go see my friends down in Northside. A lot of people came out just hanging out. Wasn't like a birthday hangout, like celebration or anything like that. It was pretty low key, but like it kind of turned into it because like everyone like kind of kept buying beers for me and stuff and like a couple of shots. So that was fun. It was a really good time. Let me get into the food corner because wow, this was a highlight. This is a big one for me. I finally got to have this meatball sub from Chameleon. They like had it as a limited time option and now it's a permanent menu option. So I was very excited. And I order this thing. I get it with a side of fries and an order of donuts, essentially like kind of like garlic bread kind of situations with some cheese. Very good. And I'm like, all right, this will definitely be good. Definitely hold me over just fine. I see the sandwich and I look at it and it's so big. It's so monstrous. I'm like, is this even like a meatball set? Like it's covered in this like decadent, rich, like I think it might be vodka sauce and like some kind of cheese. I mean, it was glorious. Like I like raised my arms like I was like a Sandman took kind of like I was so excited about it. It was so good. I literally couldn't even finish my garlic knots. Like I had to like sacrifice those to the gang, which I'm happy to do. But normally I'm a guy who cleans the plate, and I left fries on the table, but I was able to finish that stuff. It was so good. I definitely will get it again. Despite the things that come, a little bit of foreshadowing there. But yeah, so we go about our night. It's fun, doing a little bar hopping, a little hanging. It was great. It was a good time. But I will say we get to the last bar, and I was thinking about a shot. Like, man, it would be kind of cool to kind of close out with a shot. We started the night with a shot. Let's end with a shot. Sometimes we do it like that. Why not? And then my friend's like, yeah, man, you want a shot? And I was like, ding, ding, ding. And so I have this thing, right? When I'm at home, I like to drink brown. I like to drink like bourbon at home for my shots. When I'm out and about, I tend to like to do the opposite and drink clear. So started my night drinking tequila, the little tequila shot, and some beer, and then beers, whatever, and then into the night at Junkers, you know it, with a big shot of Tito's, and I underestimated the full shot at this bar, and I like took my first swig of it, and I was like, oh, why don't I even pick Tito's? This is crazy. I mean, Tito's is fine, but I realized that amount, it just like, this is like drinking like fancy rubbing alcohol at best. I don't know. It was too much at the end of it. And I was like, okay, that's fine. And overall, I didn't wake up hungover, but I definitely like woke up like a couple hours after falling asleep and then like just had to puke. And I was so upset. I was like, no, I'm going to puke up this beautiful sandwich. And so that I did. And I will say, despite all of that, despite the pain, I would do it again. I would do it all again. It was such a good time. Also, a couple of homies got me this little like kind of gag gift. It was a light bright and it had boobies that were already in there. And I'm like, oh, that's so cute. And they're like, we would have put a foot on there, but we just didn't have the room for this little baby light bright that we got you. I was like, well, I'm a booze man too, so that works out. It was cool. And I also have to get the AAA batteries to turn it on. And I also have to technically refind it. It's at another person's house that I left in like a drunken kind of thing when we were closing out on the way home. So, I'm going to get it back. And the Nutty Buddies, which I kind of thought, I'm like, this is a really cute gag gift. Because technically, Nutty Buddies, boobies, I don't know. I saw it the next day and I was like, that clicked. And then I realized, I'm like, oh, it's not in my house. But hopefully I get it. I'm going to get it back. So Thank you, Klaus. Thank you, Kels. Thank you, gang. I love you all. It was really fun having another great night with y'all. And I mean, really, it was just another night, but it was nice that, got a little celebration, a little happy birthday. It was nice. It was cool. So, hell yeah to that. So that's why I sound a little rundown. Also, my friends have beautiful pets, and I, have terrible allergies, so I always have to deal with that like the next day. But yeah, overall, I'm in good spirits, I'm in a good mood, just low energy. So hopefully that doesn't affect the news half of this, but let's go ahead and do our startup and we'll get into it. From the Associated Press. Congo court sentences 3 Americans and 34 others to death on coup charges. A military court in Congo handed down death sentences Friday to 37 people, including 3 Americans, after convicting them on charges of participating in a coup attempt. The defendants, most of them Congolese, but also including a Briton, Belgian, and Canadian, have 5 days to appeal the verdict on charges that include attempted coup, terrorism, and criminal association. 14 people were acquitted in the trial, which opened in June. The open-air military court in the capital, Kinshasa, convicted the 37 defendants and imposed the harshest penalty, that of death, in the verdict that delivered in French by presiding judge Major Freddie Ihuma. The 3 Americans, wearing blue and yellow prison clothes and sitting in a plastic chairs, appeared stoic as a translator explained their sentence. Let me scroll ahead here. 6 people were killed, and this is going into the coup attempt that happened. And we did cover this, but, figured an update was in order. 6 people were killed during the botched coup attempt, led by the little-known opposition figure Christian Malanga in May, that targeted the presidential palace and a close ally of President Felix Tshisekedi. Malinga was fatally shot while resisting arrest soon after live streaming the attack on his social media, the Congolese army said. Malanga's 21-year-old son, Marcel Malanga, who is a U.S. citizen, and 2 other Americans were convicted in the coup attempt. He told the court that his father had forced him and his high school friend to take part in the attack. Dad threatened to kill us if we didn't follow his orders, Marcel Malanga said. Other members of the ragtag militia recounted similar threats from the elder Malanga, and some described being duped into believing they were working for a volunteer organization. Marcel's mother, Brittany Sawyer, maintains that her son is innocent and was simply following his father, who considered himself a president of a shadow government in exile. She's been trying to fundraise for money, hygiene products, and a bed. Also, that I believe, her son has been has a liver disease and has been sleeping on the floor of his cell, so he's just not doing well. He's in bad shape. The other Americans are Tyler Thompson Jr., 21, who flew to Africa from Utah with the younger Malanga, who for what his family believed was a free vacation. And Benjamin Ruben Zalman Palone, 36, who is reported to have known Christian Malanga through a gold mining company. The company was set up in Mozambique in 2022, according to an official journal published by Mozambique's government and a report by the Africa Intelligence Newsletter. Now, important here is the reaction from the U.S. It kind of seems yeah, they're accepting what's happening, but they're not saying that these people were unlawfully detained. And that's a big key thing in this conversation, because that means that they're probably not going to be fighting or appealing for them, which is very major in the situation, because kind of time's ticking. There's a death sentence. That's doesn't bode too well for them. But you can also kind of understand why, because it's clearly these guys are involved in a coup. Now they're coming out with reasons and things why, but we can't sit there and say that they aren't there without merit or reason. They actively chose to do it, and if we try to fight for them, that makes us look like we're supporting that kind of shit, at least potentially. So, I at least kind of get why they're kind of a little bit more mum on this, and like you're not hearing like the local congressmen from those states where these people live, or like they're not saying anything. I think like Mitt Romney's one of them or whatever. He's mum on the beat. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I maybe in some ways you can consider it unfortunate. I will say maybe to me, what's the most unfortunate thing is that the death penalty is involved here. It was something that got reinstated earlier this year in the DRC, and now it's like something that the lawyers of the six. There's one lawyer who's like defending like six of the guys who are not from the Congo. And essentially, he's saying the bulk of reason of my appeal is like, well, these guys shouldn't be having a death sentence, put up here. You guys just put this in, and I guess these guys aren't from around here. But I don't think that that's going to really hold water. I don't think that's really going to work in the situation. But I mean, we'll see. Obviously, I don't want to see anyone, be put on a firing squad. That's probably be the situation here. But I would still say probably life in prison or something like that is better. But obviously pretty bad, grim situation. And I know for like at least like I think the guy who came from Utah with Malanga, according to him, he's like, hey, I was offered a free vacation, so I just thought it would be like a fun, cool thing to do. And my friend said like, all right, let's go. And then also I think another guy was like, oh yeah, we're gonna be like a part of a security detail. Like that was a thing that was pitched. And it's like, I don't know, man. I'm weary of it just because y'all know you're not seeing me anywhere, y'all. I'm not going nowhere. But to each their own, and you want to travel, you want to do fun, cool things, but I could definitely get how this is very hard to explain away as just like, hey, we just got duped. We just got looped into some fucking coup situation, when it's like, nah, man, people died, and like you were definitely on the live stream doing the shit. So it's hard to say, oh, like, we're being controlled, we're being yoked. Like, would you be saying that if the coup, went successfully? I kind of doubt it. I don't know. But yeah, I wanted an update there. Talk about that to open it up. Let's go ahead and move on to the next beat. From CBS News, 3 citizens, 2 Spaniards held over alleged plot to destabilize, put quotations there, destabilize Venezuela. Scroll ahead. Oh, sorry. 3 American citizens, 2 Spaniards, and a Czech citizen have been detained in Venezuela on suspicion of plotting to destabilize the country through violent actions, the government said Saturday, adding that hundreds of weapons have been seized. The Venezuelan government identified the men detained on Saturday in an online video. One of them was identified as an American Navy sailor detained in Venezuela earlier this month while visiting the country on personal travel. Several U.S. officials confirmed to CBS News. The enlisted sailor is a petty officer first class and formerly a Navy SEAL, who was assigned to a West Coast team. Several U.S. officials and a senior Defense Department official told CBS News. A State Department spokesperson told CBS News in a statement Saturday that the Biden administration could confirm the detention of the sailor and was aware of unconfirmed reports of the detention of 2 other citizens. Now, I definitely want to add here that I think that this situation seems pretty bunk. I don't think Venezuela is doing this with any real evidence or merit. I think they're just rounding up people, kind of very Russian style, essentially saying, hey, now we have people to maybe negotiate with if that's something that we need to do or, potentially can do. Honestly, it's very unfortunate. I think that's a really, really fucked up, shitty tactic that any kind of nation state does. Is like saying, hey, we see you're traveling abroad, and like, oh, and in certain situations, like, oh, you're in the military, even better. Sounds like you were doing some fucking spy shit. Sounds like you were trying to fucking kill me, Mr. Maduro. Like, oh, damn, I really wasn't. I was just trying to like see some shit. But then again, who knows? Would you catch me in Venezuela? Hell the fuck no. No way. This is a bit of an aside before I just kind of move along. But kind of going back to the BMV, I got my new license, and the person who was doing all the stuff for me on the other side of the BMV person, teller, I don't know if we call them, but they're like, so what are you gonna do? Like, where's the first place you're gonna go when you get your new license? And I paused for a second because I was stunned. Like, I didn't know what to say. I'm like, I'm not gonna go anywhere. And then I literally was like, oh, I think I got something kind of funny. And I was like, the first place I'm gonna go is Kroger, the store, to pick up some groceries. And she attempted to laugh just to appease me, and I appreciate that. But yeah, I then proceeded to tell her that I am a homebody and I stay at home and I do a lot of staycations. You're not catching me in another country traveling abroad. I had those like mysticisms. Mysticism, is that the word I should use here? Whatever. I had those fantasies when I was in the COVID lockdown time. I like picture me with an Hawaiian shirt in Hawaii. I thought about it, maybe actually taking that trip to Japan. But like, I just had the reality check of like, that's so much fucking money. I don't have the time. I don't have the resources. Like, no, we're not going to do that. I'm just going to watch a fucking, I don't know, YouTube about it. Maybe a couple TikToks. I'm good. I'm all right. I like a Go Beanie. And I like seeing what they got there. It's like a super cool 7-Eleven. But, yeah, no, you're not catching me in Venezuela getting napped up. You're not catching me in Russia, that's for fucking sure. I would never go there. No shot. And you damn sure wouldn't be catching me starting a fucking coup. No way. I'm 34 now. I'm 34 years old now. I'm old and I'm tired. Oh, yeah. No, you're not catching me on that kind of vibe. No. All right. We'll go ahead and move along. Let's hit the next beat. From NBC News. At least 8 people have died trying to cross the English Channel, French authorities say. At least 8 people died during a failed attempt to cross the English Channel from northern France, French maritime authorities said Sunday. The incident occurred Saturday, just before midnight, when authorities spotted a boat carrying dozens in distress near a beach in the northern town of Ambletussy. A French rescue ship was deployed to the area, but could not offer assistance at sea. Once the vessel reached the beach, rescue services offered medical assistance to 53 migrants. A statement from the French maritime authorities said, in charge of the Channel and the North Sea said. Despite the emergency care provided, 8 people have died, the statement said. No people were discovered during the search at sea, it added. So yeah, obviously actually I want to read a little bit more here just for the details. 6 people were taken to the hospital in Boulogne and Calais in relative emergency, including a 10-month-old baby with hypothermia. Jacques Ballant, the Pas de Calais prefect, told French media on Sunday. He said survivors of the accident came from Eritrea, Sudan, Syria, Afghanistan, Egypt, and Iran. The deceased were all male adults, Ballant said. So obviously very unfortunate, and not a new happening to take place on the English Channel. I know, the article kind of goes on to talk about like Keir Starmer, talking to George Maloney and trying to like come up with like solutions and ideas. I don't know. I really hope that, Europe can come up with like better solutions, but more times than not, they just lean on the xenophobia. They lean on like saying, hey, we actually want to restrict asylum. We actually want to make it harder for people to get here. Oh, but by the way, we're going to stop the smugglers. We're going to stop the people smugglers. So that way that stuff doesn't happen. This bad stuff that you keep seeing. And it's like, you can keep villainizing the smugglers as much as you want. I'm not saying they're wholesome guys. They're bad guys. It's easy to villainize. But at the end of the day, these are the options that people have because they don't have any other means to get out of the situation. And I think that, I say this before, I'm always going to keep saying this, that making your borders more open actually makes things easier for everyone involved, and it actually is the most humanitarian fucking thing to do. But naturally, none of these fucking nation states want to fucking do that because, especially now of all times when, people are fighting for elections. When are they not? When are politicians not fighting for elections? But they're like, oh, people are going to hate us. It's like, the people that hate you for this are bad fucking people. And it's a shame to lose your mandate or like lose a vote of the people, but I think it is better to do the fucking right thing at the end of the day, right? But I know 99% of politicians you see don't do that, won't do that. And, maybe it's only a matter of time for that 1% to fucking not deliver. I don't know. Let me not be too negative. God damn it. It's my birthday weekend. But obviously very unfortunate. My condolences goes out to all the people, lives who've lost. Also, the people that, making these attempts, obviously they're putting everything on the line, and then now you're going through this, and now, you're just now stuck in the cycle again, and you're not getting anywhere, and, that sucks, and that's very sad and very unfortunate for the people who are just trying to get to just a better life, a better situation. So my heart goes out to those people, those families. But let's move on to our last story. Sadly, I'm not closing really on a good note. But yeah, we got to go ahead and do it. We got to cover it. Let's go ahead and take our last break, though, and we'll close it out. There you go. Okay. All right. From the Associated Press. Death toll rises as torrential rain and flooding force mass evacuations across Central Europe. The death toll was rising in Central European countries on Sunday after days of heavy rains caused widespread flooding and forced mass evacuations. Several Central European nations have already been hit by severe flooding, including Austria, the Czech Republic, Poland, and Romania. Slovakia and Hungary might come next as a result of a low-pressure system from northern Italy, dumping record rainfall in the region since Thursday. The floods have claimed 6 lives in Romania, 1 each in Austria and Poland, and in the Czech Republic. 4 people were swept away by waters, were missing, police said. So, obviously very unfortunate, very sad. There's more details in the article if you're feeling like reading that, delving into that. But that's where I really want to leave it, I think, for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for being a friend. And hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye-bye. Mwah.